Hey, this is Todd Phillips, your online pastor and personal life coach, and we're in the middle of a two-part video blog series on having more influence at work. I mean, after all, it's where most of us spend most of our waking hours, and so we want to have influence. We want to feel that we're significant. We are contributing well to the environment that God has placed us in with our everyday jobs, our careers. And last week, we talked about the idea of being indispensable. Being the solution and absolutely refusing to allow negativity to take hold in our lives, to be a positive influence on our work environment. So if you didn't see that, I'd encourage you to go back and listen and watch that one as well. Now, today we're going to talk about three more areas that will allow us to have more influence, more significance in our work environment. And the first one is looking for ways to serve others. I worked at Dell Computer when I was very young, in my mid-20s, and I remember very well this gentleman that was just down the hall from me as I was selling computers for Dell. He would always come over to me as the newbie and he'd say, "Listen, is there anything I can do to help you?" And I would always have a need because I was going through this rapid learning curve and trying to understand all the things I needed to know about computers to be effective in my sales role. And he would always take a break and come over and talk with me and help me. If he could hear from where he was sitting that I was having trouble with a customer or a challenge or didn't know something, he would be the first one to come over and lean into that situation and help me out. He was always looking for ways to serve other people, and I wasn't the only one. He would do that for all 35 people on our business sales division team at Dell. So I want you to think about that. How are ways that you can serve other people in the environment, in your work environment that you're in right now? Whether it's people that work for you, your peer group, or as you lead up. I call it leading up, looking for ways to serve people that are in authority over you at your job. One of the most important things you can do is serve other people. Learn to serve graciously and constantly be looking for opportunities to do that. Because people love to be served. People love to be helped. Don't you? I know I do. And that's an incredible way to have an influence at work. The second thing I want to talk about, and it's a really important one, it's learning how to lean in to crisis. One of the things I learned from a gentleman I worked for, Lon Solomon, he was the pastor of McLean Bible Church in the Washington, D.C. area. I remember him telling me very early on as I worked for him for 7 years, he said, "Listen, when crisis comes, lean into it." One of the greatest opportunities for leadership and for service and to have an influence among our congregation, the people of God within the church, he said, would be to lean into crisis, to handle crisis well. Some of our tendencies, right, for most of us really, our tendency is to lean away from crisis. Our tendency is to try to look for a scenic route around the crisis. But the thing we all need to understand, right, is that crisis comes. We're going to be dealing with crisis at different times throughout our lives, in our personal life, in our relationships, and especially in our jobs. And so as we build our careers, as we work every day in our jobs, as crisis comes, if there's no way around it, we should lean into the crisis and learn how to handle it well. Lon Solomon used to say there's two types of generals in the Army. There's battlefield generals and Pentagon generals. He says the Pentagon generals learn how to manage processes. The battlefield generals learn how to master crisis. And he said, you need to learn how to be a battlefield general in your work environment. And I never forgot that. And so one of the greatest ways we can have influence at work is to be able to lean into crisis rightly, to have an influence on those around us by leaning in and handling properly the crisis that hits. And it's inevitable, it'll happen. The third thing I want to talk about today, the third way to have an influence at work, to be more significant in our work environment, is very important. It's being unwavering in our beliefs. And this one I'm talking specifically to Christ followers. Those of us who are Christians, we call ourselves Christians. We're followers of the Word of God, the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, and we submit our lives and our lifestyles to that reality. One of the greatest ways we can have eternal significance at work is to be unwavering in our beliefs. Let the inside and the outside of our life match. Let the things that we speak with our mouth, the truth of the Word of God that comes out of our mouth, be represented by the actions of our lives. The greatest influence we can have as Christ followers is to let what we say be exactly what we do. Let those two things match up, to be unwavering, to be steadfast in our faith in Jesus Christ and in the actions and the words of our lives. so that we can not only have an impact on the environment, right, but we can have an incredible impact, an eternally significant impact on those around us. Hopefully those who don't know Jesus will come to know them because of our lives, right? But also the people that are Christ followers, who are our brothers and sisters in the faith, we can encourage them through the process of being unwavering in our beliefs. I hope that helps you today. I hope you're able to apply these things right now to your work environment. And until we see each other again, live passionately, give generously, and have an impact on this world for God. Hey, it's Todd. Did you get something out of the video you just watched? I really hope you did. I mean, that's my passion, to give you something that can be applied rightly to your life right now. Listen, if that happened, I want you to go right here and just click on this subscribe button, and it'll take you straight to the page so you can subscribe to my blog and get this content coming to your inbox every week. I hope you'll let me do that. I hope you'll allow us to be on this journey together. We'll see you soon.